What do house-destroying F5 tornadoes have in common with Earth's molten core? Okay, fine, you're right. They both spin really fast and kill people. You want a prize? This is movie night. Hello and welcome to Movie Night. I'm your host, Jonathan Paula. Per your suggestions from Twitter and Facebook last week, tonight we'll be reviewing disaster films. One is a classic and the other is rather ridiculous. So let's start off with Jean de Bont's 96 blockbuster about tornadoes, Twister. Besides having the notable distinction of being the first ever movie released on the DVD format and the last ever movie released on the HD DVD format, Twister was also the second highest grossing film of 1996, earning almost $500 million worldwide. It stars Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt as an estranged couple who chase tornadoes for a living. We follow these storm chases during a wild 24-hour period where they amazingly find themselves cowering from the destructive force of 4 separate tornadoes. Because of this, Twister is unfortunately missing any real sense of danger or consequence, as the characters miraculously survive every storm they encounter, completely unscathed. Alongside them for this foolhardy quest is a ragtag team of quirky scientists, just as eager to risk their lives for some computer data on their clunky 90s laptops. Philip Seymour Hoffman, Alan Ruck, Carrie Ooles, and Jeremy Davies round out the massive supporting cast, but none of them are provided any real amount of substantial dialogue, instead falling into tired stereotypes and exaggerated characters of real people. In fact, I'm not even certain half of the storm chasers in this film receive names. Many are just disposable faces in the background. Subplots concerning Bill's failing relationship, Helen's traumatic childhood loss of her father to a tornado, and a rivalry between competing storm chase teams attempts to provide a bit of context to this special effects heavy thrill ride, but really it fails to contribute anything of substance to the movie. Twister was nominated for 2 Academy Awards, Best Visual Effects and Best Sound, and quite frankly those are the only 2 reasons to watch a popcorn film like this. The impressive shot of a cow flying through the air remains an iconic image to this day. And to hear this movie in surround sound is like experiencing an actual tornado in your living room. But the plot and circumstances of our characters' many narrow escapes are completely preposterous, if incredibly entertaining. Like most of Jean de Bont's movies, the script follows a very cookie-cutter outline, and is mostly unmotivated. Only the destructive tornadoes keep the action flowing from scene to scene. Luckily though, Twister excels so much in the thrills department it almost entirely makes up for the lack of development in other areas. 15 years old, this film not only still holds up, it's also a real nail-biter, an absolute classic in the disaster subgenre of movies, and easily the greatest movie that's ever been made about tornadoes. If you're looking for a simple movie that showcases the very real power of Mother Nature, you won't be disappointed. Twister. Intensely thrilling, but emotionally empty. Well, that's what I thought about the movie. Now let's see what you had to say about it in the YouTube comments. In comes the Ratomatic now to show us how we both scored Twister. A double 7. I have particularly fond memories of this film. I remember seeing it in theaters when I was just 10 years old. Unfortunately though, it isn't quite as awesome as I remember it being. I did think it was cool though. You agree with me, citing the impressive visual effects as one of the big reasons you enjoyed this movie. Our second film tonight is also one I had the pleasure of seeing when it was first released in 2003, The Core. Starring an impressive cast of usually talented actors like Aaron Eckhart, Hilary Swank, Stanley Tucci, and Bruce Greenwood, this film's absolutely ridiculous plot follows a team of scientists as they journey to the center of the Earth and a special ship to hopefully restart the stalling core in order to save humanity. Similar in scale and unbelievability to last year's 2012, this disaster movie doesn't pull any punches, going full tilt towards the incredibly preposterous in every scene, including a harrowingly awesome emergency landing of the space shuttle in the LA River, after NASA's coordinates get discombobulated thanks to the geomagnetism of Earth's core going funky on everyone. So in comes our band of scientists from around the world to not only figure out why the Earth is misbehaving and killing everyone with a pacemaker, but also how to fix it. With no time for character development in the already bloated 135-minute feature, all of our protagonists are haplessly reduced to stereotypes. You have the headstrong leader no one respects, the respected leader that dies early, the nervous rookie who comes into her own, the asshole know-it-all, the smarmy loner computer hacker, and the spunky engineer who wants to go down with his ship. The dialogue is simple, often laughable at times, but it does enough to move the plot along and establish the most basic reasons on why you should care at all. Luckily, the film never takes itself too seriously. At least, we all hope so. The suspension of disbelief required to enjoy The Core is so brazenly high, the movie approaches almost parody levels of the disaster genre at times. If it weren't for the Academy-caliber cast, you might think that director John Amiel completed this movie on a dare. Like any good global disaster picture, there are crowd-pleasing requisite shots of iconic landmarks being destroyed. But even those sequences are beyond realistic. The Golden Gate Bridge is split in half by the hole in the ozone. The Roman Colosseum is exploded by lightning bolts. I mean, seriously. Noticeably missing from a film of this scope is a sense of urgency. The entire planet is killing itself from the inside out, and yet not a single person shown on screen seems to be worried about that in the slightest. If you're able to suffer through the first hour of this film, past the countless scenes of dumbed-down exposition, destruction montages, and character introductions, the film transcends into an entirely new realm of crazy when our heroes start driving to the center of the Earth like they're going on vacation. In one ridiculous scene, completely devoid of any suspense, their ship gets stuck on some underground diamonds, until they suit up, so they can literally get out and move the 20-foot diamond. No one expects any modern-day disaster film to approach high art. Most are just meant to be fun evenings at the cinema to enjoy some special effects and outlandish doomsday scenarios. But the core is almost insulting at how carelessly it was constructed. As terrible as this movie is, though, there's something intrinsically fascinating to me about these what-if situations. The filmmakers may have completely failed on the storytelling aspects, but seeing their imaginative depiction of what the center of the Earth may resemble is really fascinating. Disaster fans and folks interested in witnessing a classic example of so bad it's good will find some enjoyment here, but otherwise the core is unintentionally hilarious, a colossal mess. Well, that's what I thought about the core. Now let's see what you had to say about it in the YouTube comments. Here's Ratomatic again to show us how we both rated the core. A 3 and a 5. It's exactly like watching a train wreck. I strangely love this film, but it is completely terrible, so I had to score it a bad. You were curiously more lenient than I was, praising the concept and the visuals in this film, despite its laughable story. You thought it was alright. Well, that does it for tonight's films, so now let's see what's currently playing in theaters with some tweet critiques. Remember, if you're going to the movies next weekend, make sure to submit your Twitter review using the JPMN hashtag to have it featured on an upcoming episode. Next week, we'll be taking a look at a couple fantasy films, the first of which is brand new on DVD next week, Gulliver's Travels, last year's remake of the classic Jonathan Swift novel starring Jack Black. Our second movie will be 1986's Labyrinth, the Jim Henson classic starring David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly. As always, I encourage you to buy, rent, or download these films, and let me know what you think about them by leaving me a comment review or voting in the polls below. Once again, my name is Jonathan Paula. Thank you for watching Movie Night. I hope to see you right back here next Friday.